Fire and fury.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
We get them to have Pokemon go to the...
Alright, I know that this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm about to put up a defense of Trump's Space Force idea. Not because I think it's a great fucking idea, but because so many people are shitting on the idea unjustly. One commenter online even said that it was Trump's stupidest idea yet, to which I had to remind him that Trump is bringing back asbestos use. So I'm about to rebuke some of the more common criticisms I hear on it. People are claiming that it's a huge waste of money without any idea of what exactly the expenditure will be or what it will entail. Trump has been pretty vague about it, but the administration claims that it'll be budget neutral. However, Pence has also asked Congress for $8 billion towards it, so who the fuck knows? Just another day of contradictions for the White House. Instead of carving out a new budget, they could just simply reallocate funds from the superfluous military expenditures. Of course, they're not going to do that, because that would piss off the military contractors that they're beholden to. And people just seem to be under the impression that Trump is about to start sending Space Marines immediately, when in reality, this is just preemptively setting up the program. It would likely start small, things like drones that can disrupt enemy satellites or protect our own. Russia and China already have missiles that can shoot down the satellites in orbit, so it's become a legitimate concern. Some of these are things that the Air Force Space Division already does, so it's not like this is unprecedented. It already exists, he's just moving the operation to a dedicated military branch. As space becomes more hotly contested in the future, it won't be fair to put that burden on the Air Force. I often hear people questioning the efficacy of it too, seemingly unaware of the fact that this isn't Trump's idea. People have been bouncing this proposal around for decades. Even Donald Rumsfeld suggested it. Both America and the Soviet Union were working on space weapons right up until the Outer Space Treaty and the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty. So anybody who thinks that the idea of space weapons is unfeasible or ineffective, let me say that you clearly know less about it than those respective militaries did. Go ahead, Google the Almaz program. Russians had a space station equipped with a 23mm rapid-fire mounted cannon. Russia also had developed an orbital bombardment system that could drop an ICBM from anywhere in low orbit. America had the Strategic Defense Initiative, or Star Wars Missile Defense as Reagan called it. And those were just Cold War ideas. Today's technology opens up a world of orbital weaponry. Kinetic bombardment could also be an alternative to nuclear arms, creating massive force without any of the messy fallout. Of course, we have bombs today that are similarly capable, but you could potentially just drop huge chunks of scrap metal, either coated in a heat shield or made to cut through the atmosphere and prevent air compression, and it would cost a lot less per unit. Although getting them up there in the first place is expensive with our current technology. The United States was planning on doing it themselves in an operation called Project Thor, but they declined when the treaties were signed. So this isn't beyond reason. Of course, people are bringing up the fact that there are treaties against this. However, there are 3 points to make about that. Firstly, someone is eventually going to break it. America has a history of breaking treaties, and considering that the Iraq War was a blatant war crime and nobody did dick fuck all about it, it's likely that the world would be pissed off for about a news cycle or two and then move on. It may not be ethical, but it is fucking tactical. Secondly, it's not as illegal as you might think. The treaty bans countries from stationing weapons of mass destruction in outer space. However, the treaty doesn't specifically ban drones or missiles that temporarily enter and exit orbit, like ICBMs. Conventional weapons are also not specifically mentioned, so there's a lot of room to bend the rules here. And lastly, which would be the most illegal part, would be that whoever obtains space dominance first can prevent anyone else from doing so. Now this actually does go against the treaty and could be a cause for armed conflicts back down here on terra firma, but as I mentioned before, America's kind of like Trump. They seem to get away with anything. So there you have it. A handful of reasons why Space Force, as absurd as it might seem and as opposed to it as I am, isn't the most ridiculous thing he's proposed.